Hey everybody, it's Greg Rice. We're here at Opa Lounge and Restaurant on Federal Hill with the owner-operator, Mr. Francois Karam.
Hello.
How's it going, brother?
Excellent. Thanks for coming.
And this is great because Francois and I have never met before. So what's good is the conversation is going to be organic, it's natural, there's no script at all.
Absolutely.
And we're going to take it wherever it goes.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. So my first question is, where are you from originally? Are you Rhode Island, born and bred?
So I was actually, I was born in Canada, Halifax, Nova Scotia, and we lived there for about 4 to 5 years of our lives. And then, my father had a very successful pizza restaurant, and we ended up moving to Lebanon. He wanted us to get more, closer to family and friends back home in Lebanon. And that was the first time, I got to meet my aunts and uncles and grandparents. So that was a pretty big change for us. Had to learn the Arabic language.
Yeah.
Lived there for about 8 years, and Lebanon's had its battles throughout the years. Obviously, economically, it's been an issue. So even though my father opened up a lot of successful restaurants, they'd be successful in the winter, and then summertime they'd be dead. So we ended up taking a step back from Lebanon, moving back to Canada for a year, and then we ended up moving to the U.S. And since then, it's been great.
And what year was that? Did you move back to the U.S.?
So my father moved here by himself at first, just to kind of set things up. Back in 2001 or so, 1 or 2, he opened up a sandwich shop on Hope Street. It's called Mr. Pocket. And he got that going. Found some apartments, and then we moved here in the summer. And it was a struggle. It wasn't, from what I remember, it wasn't that fun. Obviously, an immigrant family coming here, starting from scratch. And we had some family here that helped us, but you're going to a whole new world, and it was fun. It was a challenge, but it allowed us to grow out of that and open up Opa Restaurant, the smaller version of this place, which was about 2 restaurants down, and it was like a hole in the wall, family restaurant. My father's in the kitchen, my mother's on the floor, I'm doing the dishes or helping out, my sister's helping out, and we developed something beautiful. Developed a fantastic community, a lot of friends from it, and we decided to open up a larger place, and here we are.
And what year did you move to this location?
It's been about 8 or 9 years. The original location we opened up in 2003. We stayed there for about, I can't remember exactly the amount of time, but I got to go back and backtrack that.
Yeah.
But we moved here about 8 or 9 years ago now, and it's been great. It's a beautiful place. We love it here. It has its challenges, throughout the years. It's been challenging, of course. Right now with COVID, it's very challenging. But it's a beautiful place, and we've developed. I met my wife because of this place, so it's
has its benefits.
Yeah, there you go.
So what's the hardest thing though about managing and owning a restaurant that is beyond just the surface level that maybe I as a customer will see, like, oh, it's got to be hard to keep it clean and, and keep the the condition good. What's one of the behind the scenes things that people don't know about that's like to you a constant battle?
Well, I think family restaurant. It's we never hire a manager to run this place. We might have our bar manager, who's fantastic, Katie. And we have our staff that they do a great job, but there's a lot of family related stuff. Like it's tough to for my father to kind of take a week off and go away. So our family vacations are non-existent. So we've gone on vacations here and there, but my father's head's always thinking about the restaurant. He's always on his phone looking at the restaurant. So that's one kind of downside of a family business. And the other challenges, there's from everything from A to Z, whether it's staff not being happy about their shifts, or we do what we can to please everybody, and our staff are very happy. But there's a lot of miscellaneous stuff that goes into running a business that some people may walk in and say, what, the hummus isn't the same today. Why is that? And you got to backtrack that and see who did what wrong back there. And so it has its challenges, but it's you learn from that and you grow from that. So.
And as far as Rhode Island goes, I love it because of the variety here, food-wise. So how do you stay competitive, and what would you say is your edge to all the other restaurants in the state? What does Opa do differently or better for the consumer?
Fortunately, unfortunately, there's not a lot of Mediterranean restaurants in Providence.
True.
But I wish there was more, just so we can, stay on the competitive, keep us on our toes. But being a family business, family restaurant, you walk in here, you're going to feel welcomed. You're going to feel, loved in a way. And that's really what built us. Is my mother comes out and before COVID, hugs you, says, "Hey, how are you?" My dad comes out, "How's the food?" And you get to meet the family that way.
Yep.
And then you hear my father in the background yelling at me, yelling at his son. That's how it is. Yeah, right. So it's fun. And people have gotten to know us a lot more because of that. And then our staff is amazing. We have an amazing staff here that a lot of them have been here since day one.
Yep.
From the new place. And it's everybody knows everybody in a way. And it's loving. It's great. So
I came here maybe 3 months ago,
mm-hmm.
or actually, it was right when the restrictions got lifted. So maybe it's
Sure.
4 months ago
Yeah.
at this point. With Emilio Despirito, we sat outside,
Mm-hmm.
and we stayed so long that we ended up moving to another seat over there. And I think it was your dad that
Mm-hmm.
came over and brought like a cover, like it was almost like a
yeah.
curtain
Yeah.
to keep us warm.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, wow, talk about service.
Sure.
And then he came over, he had cigars for us. He gave us a shot of something sweet. I think it was like a limoncello or something. And I agree with you. I remember feeling that just with one visit.
Sure.
So that's amazing. And you don't see that.
Yeah.
You go to other restaurants and it's just like, what do you want?
Get in, get out.
Get in, out, all right, here's the check, bye. And sometimes they don't even give you the check. It's like
Sure.
a computer.
Sure. Sure.
So, some places you want the speed, but when you want to sit down and enjoy yourself,
Yeah.
you get that old school service.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's, my father's very loving, and he wants to meet every customer almost, unless we're very busy or unless he's not in the kitchen. And but it's what really built us, and our food's great. We've developed a fantastic reputation in the Lebanese community. We have people coming from Mass, Connecticut. We have even customers that come once a month from New Hampshire just to come and dine here. And it's our food's very traditional, very authentic. My father learned everything from his mother, so it's we have that cultural background. I think people love that, but with COVID and the restrictions, it's kind of difficult now to keep it rolling. So
How have you managed? I see all the plexiglass here. How else though? Now you have to close 2-3 hours earlier than normal. How are you weathering that storm?
well, I'm fine with it. My father, he's fine with it. It's just my biggest concern is the staff. About 2 weeks ago, I just hired two new employees. Very excited to get this place rolling again. The weekends getting busy again. People are going out a little bit more. And now we're set back, and I'm just more worried about my staff and their hours. I can't give them more hours because there's no hours, and there's no money to be made. So we're looking at other tactics right now to bring in, clients or customers during the week. So one thing I'm working on right now, I'll be launching the next month or so, is like traditional, authentic Lebanese dishes. So, the stuff that you'd go to, grandma's house on a Sunday and, have that dish that, you crave for months and you can't get anywhere else. And, my father's going to be behind all that and working on the culinary aspects of it. So I'm really excited about that and hoping to bring in, customers during the week. So the staff can make some money, One thing that we've done before is just, my waiters, bussers go out and deliver food, and we're working with other local companies. United Deliveries is another company that we're working with right now, similar to Grubhub and your DoorDash, but it's a local company. Kenny and Bobby, their brothers, they do a lot of valets all over the Rhode Island. They're always wearing the blue shirts. They had decided to open up a delivery company so their staff can make some money, because the restaurants are closed down or, so it helps everybody keep going. And their percentages are very low compared to, Grubhub's 30% that they take from restaurants, which is insane.
It's crazy.
It's a third of your business, a third of your sales.
Just for the platform, the platform has value, but that much?
Yeah, it's and that doesn't help the restaurants, but there's another business, let's say in downtown Providence, that is struggling, the sandwich shop. And the owner suggested she call Grubhub, and Grubhub gave her 35%. as an offer. 35%. It's like
Of the total check?
Yeah, just whatever the sale is. If your sandwich is $9, they're taking over $3 out of that.
That's your profit.
Right. Exactly. It's a sandwich. It's not even.
Right.
It's not like you're making a $60 steak.
Right.
So it has its challenges. We're working through it. I just I really hope other restaurants will fight through this and get through this little stage, and we'll get back to February, March when it starts picking back up. I hate to see other businesses close down, and
Yep.
it sucks going to Providence. It sucks going to downtown Providence.
Yeah.
It's dead. It's sad.
Well, I read a lot of news, and one guy, one guy I always see is Rick DeSimone.
Yes, he's a
Okay.
good man.
So I want to
Good
ask
man, Rick.
about Rick, because it seems like Federal Hill is unique in a sense that you have an advocate who is fighting not for one or two or just places that he may own, but for places that he cares about. So tell us about Rick and how he advocates for the restaurant community.
So Rick Simone, he's been fighting for restaurants all over around, and especially he's part of the Federal Hill Association, and he's done a lot for the Hill. So since COVID, kind of phase 2, I think, the restaurants opened back up, and he fought for us to allow us to have the street closed on Fridays and Saturdays.
Right.
Which through the summer was fantastic. We played a little bit of catch up. We got the staff making money. The business was rolling again, and through that, he's also fighting for keeping us open later now. Even though Gina originally wanted to close us by 9:30, similar to Mass and Connecticut, he fought for us, and now we're open till 10:30, which I know isn't much of a difference.
Well, it is.
But it adds up.
Yeah.
And he's been fighting for everybody, and he's a great voice for us restaurateurs. So just big, even though this isn't vodka or anything, but big cheers to Rick DeSimone.
Yeah.
And you gotta take a sip of the fake vodka.
This is actually all vodka.
This is all vodka.
No lemon.
Yep. Well, we got the bottle behind the counter
Yep.
over here, all 7 of them. So.
It's 11:10 in the morning.
Keeps us awake. But yeah, Rick's been great. So, and he's always on the Hill, especially on Fridays, Saturdays, driving up and down in his golf cart and just making sure everybody's good and everybody's he's been fantastic.
And what's his background? Like, how did he get involved? I mean, I've never seen somebody that advocates for businesses without an interest of some
Sure.
kind.
Yeah, I mean he's owned restaurants as long as I've known him. A lot of successful restaurants, but I think took a step back. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly if he owns any now, but he's always in restaurants, always fighting for them. He's always out and about. He's keeping an eye out on everybody. So he's been totally great with that. So
One of my favorite shows, switching gears a little bit, is Bar Rescue. John Taffer, Shut It Down. What do you, as a restaurateur and owner, think of when you watch that show? Is it glam? Is it just Hollywood? Or is there some truth to it, or is it a mix of both?
there is. I mean, one thing that I notice, and I laugh a lot of them, is when it's like a family restaurant, and one person has one idea, the other one has a completely different idea, and they clash, and who's right and who's wrong, and it's I try to bring in a lot of new stuff to the business, and my father's stuck with his old school ways, what's been working for the past 15, 20 years,
Right.
And it's hard sometimes to bring in some new, new aspects of the business, and it has its challenges with that. And not just that. I mean, obviously your staff has to be on point. The kitchen has to be on point. So there's a lot of the stuff that you may see on the show that's realistic. And I think one biggest thing is just I love the ones where it's the family stuff.
Yeah.
The family businesses.
The drama.
Yeah, the drama's fun. I mean, hey, listen, like.
You've gone through it, I'm sure.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, listen, I've never been. I took a big step away from this business probably 6-7 years ago, and I was pursuing an architecture career, which I ended up pursuing it. I got my master's in architecture, and I was working at a couple of companies. I was working at one here locally in Cranston, Secoshia & Associates, great company. And I decided to take a step back from that and focus on other trades and other things that I wanted to do in life. Focus more on the restaurant, help the family a little bit more. And it's been, it's been a great journey. So I took that step back around June, July, and I accidentally kind of started a mosquito spraying company. So I was spraying mosquitoes in the summer. Nothing like, nothing that I expected to do, but, I wanted to do other things in my life that, I spent, 5 days a week in an office, 8 hours, 9 hours a day. My brain was just like, I could do this now. I could do, and so I took a step back and did other fun things, and here I am.
So how old are you?
I am 32.
32?
Yeah.
I'm 29.
Wow, you're a young buck.
We're right in the same era.
Yeah.
We both accomplished a lot.
Absolutely.
So what do you see for the next 5 years and 10 years of your life?
If you asked me that question 6 months, a year ago maybe, I would tell you, I'm going to be a licensed architect. I'm going to own my own architectural firm. I'm going to be, but the way I've been going the past 6 months, 6 to 8 months, I'm like tackling so many different fields. I'd like to purchase more property. I'd like to, manage this place a little bit better and run this business a little bit better. And you know what? At the end of the day, I just want to be happy the next 5 years. And I think that's something that people, they're working day to day. They're running around. They're going crazy. They're coming home to their kids. They're cooking. And you know what? Then they would go to bed and wake up and do the same thing. And, they're exhausted. And, I found myself to be exhausted working my 40, 60 hour a week in my day job, my architecture firm. Wasn't accomplishing other things that I wanted to accomplish. And I found, beekeeping makes me happy. Tackle that. Spray mosquitoes and, walk around and exercising. I have this 70, 80 pound backpack on my back and I'm tired at the end of the day. That feels good, And listen, sitting behind a desk and doing architecture was fantastic. It was very rewarding. But, I wasn't like physically tired.
Right.
I was mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
I wanted to be both. So, doing other things allowed me to be both and feeling good at the end of the night. So.
Great answer.
Yeah. I think you just want to be happy. And, money's great. I can go work in an architecture firm. I can go own it. I can go do whatever. And money's, but it doesn't make a big difference in your life. And I don't know where I heard this years ago, but, money doesn't really make a big difference in your life unless you're making, $5,000 a year versus $50,000 a year or $60,000 a year, right? $5,000 a year, you're barely making it work. You're barely eating. You barely have shelter. It's a third world kind of country living. $50,000 a year, you have your Honda, you have your maybe renting, maybe owning a property, whatever it may be. 50 to 60, 50 to 70, now you're upgrading your Honda to maybe a Lexus, maybe,
Now you're eating out on
Fridays. Right, maybe you're eating out, maybe you're not going to Applebee's anymore, maybe you're going to Opa, which Applebee's is great, but...
Opa-bees.
Oh yeah, Opa-bees, whatever. But, the money doesn't make that much of a big difference in your life. So, but it's maybe you're dining in a nicer place, maybe you have a nicer watch, maybe you have those, Louis Vuitton shoes that you wanted, or that bigger diamond ring for your wife, or whatever it may be. And those are great. It's good aspirations, good goals. But for me, I found it like, I don't want to keep chasing this rabbit, So I took a step back. I found, financially I'm stable and I'm happy running X, Y, and Z with this much. So, and it's great to make more, but what am I getting out of it? So I took a step back, focused on my happiness, focused on my mental health, my physical health. Working out more. I'm a lot happier. And took a step back away from chasing that. Yeah. Chasing that. So
an unattainable thing.
Right. And listen, you're gonna make $100,000 a year, and you're gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna make 150 by next year, and you're gonna make 200, and that's great. But sometimes you find yourself exhausted and separated from friends, family, from your wife, from your kids,
from your pets.
Yeah, pets. In my
you got
case.
A nice dog, right?
Yeah, I got a couple of dogs.
2 dogs.
Yeah, I got a German Shepherd and a German Short-haired Pointer.
I see pictures.
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah, a lot of fun. But yeah, just took a step back, and I'm a lot happier. I have a lot more time for myself. I can go beekeeping. I can take care of my chickens. It's a lot of the stupid stuff that people look at me and say, "Why? That's weird."
No, it's fulfilling.
Yeah, but I grow mushrooms, which that's my next goal is to have a small mushroom farm at the house and sell mushrooms to restaurants, like really high-end gourmet mushrooms. Which to me is it's fun. So I'd rather chase after that and do fun things like that and see some
Yeah.
rewarding aspect of it versus a
Bigger picture.
yeah, you know, and having the nice jewelry and the nice stuff is, to me, is a temporary high.
Yeah.
I like to be constantly kind of, you know, creating and inventing and having fun.
That was a good answer.
Yeah, little big answer, but
Yeah. So how about this? Your mom and your dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or we'll start with your mom. What was the best piece of advice that your mom gave you? And then I'll ask what your dad's was.
My mom. So my mother's been, you know, she's always keeping an eye on me, I guess. Like the other day, I was at the restaurant. I was stressed out about something, and she kept asking me, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?"
She could smell it.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, "Nothing's wrong," and then she kept asking me, and I was getting more aggravated, I guess, because she was like finding out something's wrong. Is everything good at home? Is everything what's wrong? And it's like, and she wants to make sure I'm always good and happy. You know, my father and my mother have been great. My father's always been, you know, a family man. You know, he wants to make sure we're eating together all the time. My mother's always calling me like, "Hey, how come you haven't called me today?" You know, it's and you know, to some and to me sometimes it's like, "All right, leave me alone. I need my space."
Yeah.
But you know, I'm blessed with that, and I think a lot of people, unfortunately, may not have that loving kind of family. And you know, we came here. It was just myself, my mother, my father, my sister, and we came here with that and our clothes.
So is Joyce your sister?
Joyce is my sister.
She's who waited on us when we came.
Terrible service.
Terrible.
Awful service.
But what's funny is
Yeah.
I had a hat on that said United States Postal Service, and she was like, "Oh, I love that hat." And Amelia was like, "You should send her a hat." So I sent her a U.S. Postal Service hat.
Oh, she didn't say anything about that?
A nice white hat with blue letters.
Really?
And I know she got it
Okay.
because she told Amelia thank you.
Oh, she
but
did? Okay.
It was just funny because she said, "Oh, I like your hat," and I thought she was like busting my balls. Wearing a post office hat, and she was like, "Oh, nice hat." So I sent her a
good.
hat.
That's
I
good.
didn't know that's your sister.
That's my sister. yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
She's always at the restaurant as well. She's also does makeup. She stays busy as well. She does her thing. You know, family restaurant. We've gone through it all. Gone through all the bads, all the goods, and you know, even though I'm somewhat distant from my family, I'm always busy. You know,
Yep.
may not be here all the time. May not be, you know, out to dinner with them all the time or whatever it may be. Even though weekly we're having dinner together.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice to see us grow together like that. You know, the struggle's nice. I'm very glad I came to this country with my family and we struggled together. Makes you appreciate everything. You know, it makes me, you know, at one point, like 5 years ago, I was working 5 jobs and, you know, going to school full time for my master's. And, you know, to some it's like, why are you doing all that? But it's like, you know, this is an opportunity not a lot of us have. And I think that's something in this country that, you know, I think a lot of us are spoiled and we don't realize it. That's why immigrants come to this country and they work their butts off because, you know, this is our last shot. If we don't make it here, we're done.
Right.
So it's, you know, it's been a blessing with that. And, you know, see my father work every day. I mean, he's literally here every day. From opening to close, it makes you, you know, I'm not going to sit at home and relax. And I could easily say, "Hey, Dad, give me some money.
Yeah.
I'm going to live happily for the rest of my life." But, you know, he didn't struggle, and my family didn't struggle and go through all they went through for me to not make something of myself, right? And not be happy, and not be taking, like, I got to take care of myself, take care of my family, so.
Yeah. That's honorable.
Yeah.
You don't see too much of that.
Yeah, I think we all think in that aspect, we just don't know why, right? I think, like, why do you work so hard, Greg?
Why do I work hard?
Why do you work
Same
hard?
as you. I want to go to bed mentally tired and physically
Good.
tired. Some days I go to bed mentally tired, but physically, I didn't exercise today. Or I eat like shit. But then other days I go to bed physically tired, which I like sometimes. I didn't have to think all day.
Sure.
So it's kind of a balance. That's why I work so hard. Is I want to go to bed knowing I did something purposeful.
Good.
So I remember in college, right? I was at Johnson & Wales, 2009 until 2013, and it might have been 2012 or 2011. The identity on the Hill changed because of $3 bar.
Sure.
And I remember seeing that come And all my friends go in there, and it was $3, and you drink 8 drinks for $30, and you're off the wall.
Oh yeah.
I saw that as a problem immediately.
Yeah.
So what was your reaction, when they came here and ultimately when they departed? Did you say, yep, saw that coming, or did you just say, oh, fair play to them, sad that happened? Like, what was your gut reaction?
That was that's one thing on the Hill that we've been struggling with, is just one business can ruin it for all. If you have a certain type of clientele that comes in, looking for $3 drinks, you're gonna get a crappy attitude. You're gonna get you can have your 8 drinks. I have 2 drinks and I'm off the wall.
Yeah.
You give me 8 drinks, I'm blacking out. I'm acting idiotic. So with that came a lot of issues, a lot of fights, a person died because of that business, and it brought a lot of negativity to the Hill, and that's unfortunate, and it's gone. But the beautiful thing about it is the Hill, almost every business, every owner, including ours, we marched down to the city during the hearing of shutting down the business. We literally protested down to the city and to not let them open back up.
Yes.
It just kind of reminded us that we have a fantastic community here,
Yep.
and we're here together. We're and that's something that we will always have. Even though some of those businesses might have closed down throughout the years, it was great to see us all come together in agreement of a negative aspect that came to the Hill. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate because we were on the news for a negative reason, you know, and the Hill brings in a lot of fantastic businesses. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of different cultures here. Fantastic cuisine. You got Sienna next door. You got Zuma. You got some amazing businesses, and people forget about that. Mm-hmm. They remember about, hey, what about that event that happened last year, a couple of years ago, mm-hmm. and the Hill's not the same. Well, my business is the same. Yeah. Next door is the same. Yeah. We're still running fantastic food. We're still running fantastic drinks, great staff, and my family's still here. So, nothing changes here. It might have changed at one business, but not here. So I think that people need to remember.
And why is that not a story?
Absolutely.
But today it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
And I usually I didn't come this year, Columbus Day. Mm-hmm. I go to Via Roma, Chef Dominic, sausage and peppers, and it's the camaraderie that exists, and the fact that you can't even park within a mile is like, that event shows the power and the nucleus of the neighborhood. So when you do get one of those bad eggs, you guys filter them out.
Oh, absolutely.
And they go quickly.
Oh, absolutely.
So it can't, like, for those of you at home that are saying, oh, Fed Hill is dangerous, it's bad, it's scary, those businesses are gone.
Oh, yeah.
And the right businesses are here.
Sure.
And they've been here.
Absolutely.
And they'll always remain here. Mm-hmm. So that should be a story, and I just wanted to make that point.
I appreciate that, yeah.
But as far as the Hill goes, I feel like there's no place quite like it in Rhode Island. The closest thing you could say is Main Street of East Greenwich, or maybe Thames Street in Newport. Mm-hmm. What would you say to that? Is there any other comparable, neighborhoods and community?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Thayer Street's another great one. There used to be a lot of businesses there that are great, still are. But one thing that I remember when I was a minor, don't tell anybody. I used to go from place to the other, and with my fake ID, but don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And get a drink at this place or that place, and you're walking around, and I think that's something that Rick Simone is bringing back to the Hill, is you're strolling the Hill.
Yes.
And the streets close on Fridays and Saturdays, and you're bouncing from, Opa for dinner, and then, Venda Bar for drinks, and maybe an app, and that's fun, mm-hmm. And you're keeping everybody on the same street. You're just parking your car and just bouncing from one location to the next. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited, and I hope we can bring that back next year in the summertime. You prep every business for that aspect, and, keep the people, keep the money on the Hill. And it's another great thing that we forget to talk about is, businesses supporting other businesses. So, like, we stay open fairly late till we used to, I guess, 1, 2 o'clock. But other restaurants like Sienna next door that they close at 10, 11 o'clock for dinner, a lot of their staff comes by and has a drink here.
Leaves room.
Yeah, and it's, they come and have drinks here, or if Sienna's packed up, if and during dinner they have no room, they push a lot of their customers here, or to Massimo, or Pane Vino, and it's you're working together. You're working together to keep everybody on the hill, to keep everybody having fun. And I see that, and in Boston, I think it's North Main Street. I forget the name of the street, but it's an Italian street, and businesses support each other. And they work together to make the street, keep the street alive and going. I think that's a thing that competitively you forget to do, because you're like, what? No, I want to. Screw that business. Like, I don't want to support them. But you work together for that. Somebody comes in here and says, "Oh, your hookah prices are very high." It's like, hey, sorry, but check out this place. It might be more within your budget, or check out that place down the street. It might be within your budget.
That's a great point. And actually, there's another company, like I work at Nexus, right? And there's a company, I think they're in Providence, they're called Blackstone Leasing and Management. And I've seen that they've been coming up in the ranks.
Sure.
A lot of reviews, a lot of cars I see. So I reached out to the owner by email, and I said, hey Frank, this is Greg, I've seen you're growing, great job. Why don't we sit down together and see, how we're the same, how we're different, give our clients, perspective. No response. So, to Frank, I say, respond. We're in the same sandbox.
Absolutely.
And and you just made a great point. When you all play together, we share the customers.
Absolutely.
Instead of dividing the customers. So that's a good point. And I don't see that anywhere in Rhode Island, really. It's very rare that you see that, okay, we're going to close at 10 so that they get 2 hours over here, and maybe they don't do as much dinner, so they'll get the drinks. It's just, that's nice.
You got to work together. We're not at war with each other. We're working together to, keep our businesses alive, keep everybody happy. I'd hate to see another business on the hill close down. I love it when new places open up, and I try to support them as much as I can. And so does my family. My family, once a week they're going out to dinner somewhere, and they're excited to meet the new places. But it's not much of a competition. The biggest thing is you want to learn from other businesses, and you want to if you can inspire somebody, if you meet the chef and be like, wow, this is great, like come to my business and try my food, they can get inspired by your food, and may tweak a little bit and add some stuff to their dishes. So I think that's fun. It keeps us going. Sticking to your same dishes daily and your same routine, and not separating yourself and not networking with other businesses, I think is it's an issue that we have, thinking that it's a competitive thing, but it's you got to grow together.
So you're saying sticking with the same menu all the time is kind of a downside, because you're not maybe adapting to the consumer's taste.
Sure.
Like I think sometimes, especially my wife, appetizers is what she looks for. So she's getting 3 appetizers instead of 1 entree. And I've seen a lot of restaurants now have this many appetizers and that many entrees.
Sure.
So it's kind of like you have to roll with the consumer's preferences.
Absolutely. I mean, my favorite thing is when I go out with a big party to dinner, versus just me and my wife, which is also great. That means I can get more apps and try more things. That's the point of it. We go crazy with apps. And that's fun. You're trying different flavors, different dishes, versus having your steak and fries and whatever.
Right.
Which is great, but the apps are my favorite too. I love apps.
Like, let me try that. Excuse me, let me grab that.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at too. I love soups too.
Soups are good.
People call me old man. I like hot soup. I love hot soup.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter what it is. If it's hot, I'll dip bread in it.
Oh yeah. Have you had Vietnamese soup? Pho?
I think one time in Cranston.
There's a couple places. There's
Mr. something.
Yeah, Mr. Noodle, Mr. Sushi.
Mr. Sushi.
Yeah.
And I was like, not for me.
Yeah. There's a lot of different soups. So not to talk about soup. But let's talk about soups.
Yes.
So you got pho, which is a Vietnamese soup, really, really good. Bún Bao Huế, which is another Vietnamese soup. It's it's got a lot of, it's more of a spicier soup, I should say. And then you got like another one that's really good, Cà Piec, which is could be wrong, Laotian soup, and that's really good as well. So check those out. I don't know. I'm a big soup guy myself, so and those are really good for the soul, once you go.
Yeah. Are you a soup maker here, or do you guys not offer soups?
No, we don't offer soups.
Did you ever?
Every once in a while, my dad might make some. A lot of those dishes that we're gonna present now. So we're gonna work on something here at the restaurant, which I'm really excited about. So those traditional dishes that we're gonna introduce, a lot of them are soupish, or they're good for the soul. Like you go and it hits you in the heart. And some of them are kind of soupy-ish, so they have a lot of broth. So it's not really focused more on soup, but it's kind of like a mix of both.
Like a gravy-esque type of thing?
Yeah.
I had the seafood opera when I came.
Oh, that's good.
And I heard that was the best.
Yeah, seafood was good. So you get a nice variety of salmon, calamari, which is fantastic here. We have grilled and fried. Fried's more of like the traditional Rhode Island style, but the grilled is really good. That's really one of my favorite dishes. And we charcoal grilled it, and then we marinate it with balsamic vinegar oregano sauce on it. And it's like smoky, and you taste a little bit of charcoal.
Yeah.
And it's great.
It's earthy.
Yeah, it's really good.
How about this? Folks at home that may be considering opening their own restaurant, what would you say to them?
You don't have any more time. That's it. That's your main focus, I think, like, if you think you're gonna have, the weekend off, you can't. You're done. The first year's gonna suck. You're gonna struggle and you're gonna learn a lot. But you're gonna be devoting 7 days, day and night to this business.
How many hours?
I mean, it depends. If your focus is on food, you're spending most of your morning prepping and doing that. And of course, you have your own staff for that, but you got to work on the market. You got to push your food out. Rhode Island is a very competitive restaurant industry. You got a lot of restaurants opening up, and you got to find an area that's lacking, which it's hard to find out. Because you have so much culture, you have so much different diversity here. But time is the biggest thing, and you got to have the time for it. You got to have the if it's nobody comes in on a Monday. You gotta stay open regardless on Mondays. It doesn't matter, and that's one thing that we do here. We're open almost every day of the year. Except for holidays. Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July now, and that's probably about it. Yeah, and snowstorms doesn't matter. We gotta stay open. What if somebody wants to come in and have a drink?
Yep.
And those end up being busy nights. Because other places are closed down.
Right.
And you create, that's the biggest thing, is you create dependability, Like, everything must be closed, there's a snowstorm out. You say, you know what, Opa's open. I know Opa's open, let's call them and check. Here we are. When you want to give up, you can't. You got to fight through it. Even if you don't have any more customers coming in on that day, hang out with your staff, get to know them better, see how you can improve the place.
You do cleaning or do some odd jobs that you've been wanting to do.
Absolutely.
So how about this? What's the most profitable item and the most least profitable?
So definitely drinks.
Drinks are your moneymaker.
Absolutely. Drinks, and another good thing is hookah. So we serve hookah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Well, we can't serve hookah now really anymore. We can only serve it outside, but it's too cold for that. Hookah is another great profitable part of our business, which has been great, but now it's kind of setting us back up a bit. Of course, I mean, food isn't as lucrative as drinks, but it's also great. So
gets the people here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, biggest thing I tell my dad, you can get a Jack and Coke here, the same as next door. It's going to taste the same. It's the food that's going to separate you. It's the food that's going to make you different. So don't focus much on the drinks. Don't focus much on the bar. Focus on your food. Get people here, and if you can do that, then you try a dish. If they love it, try to bring them back. You like the filet this time. Try their hummus next time, or whatever it may be. And you got to motivate that customer to keep coming back. And you got to make sure every dish comes out great. You can't have any issues with that, because you want the customer to come back and try new things. Even though in many cases they'll have one dish and they'll stick to it until they get sick of it.
Guilty of that.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like you have your favorite place and you want to try their pasta only. I go to what's it called, La Masseria, and I want their bolognese. That's it. I'm there for the bolognese. Leave me alone.
Do you want to try our bolognese?
No. I mean, just give me the bolognese.
That's a good point, because a lot of places, like I used to go to Biblos over on Thayer Street, or off Thayer Street, and I would get the hookah, and I would get a pitcher of sangria, and then I would get the munchies sorry, can't help you.
Yeah,
So that's a good point you make is you need to have that triple threat.
sure.
Food, drink, smoke, or ability to smoke.
Sure.
And the restaurants that just do the drink and smoke, they're not separating themselves or providing any different value other than at that moment the convenience.
Absolutely.
So the food grows your roots
Absolutely.
to the consumer, that is.
Yeah. I mean, culturally for us, I mean, I know there's a lot of, hookah lounges, hookah bars, but to us it's a cultural thing, You have dinner, we eat raw meat, we eat a lot of funky stuff. We drink, ouzo, arak, which is a Lebanese, it's a Middle Eastern, I should say, drink. And you smoke hookah. It's a traditional thing. It's not a, let's go to the bar, rip some shots, and smoke hookah, which is still great, and people do that often here. But traditionally, there's a lot of cultural background that goes to that. I think people are just kind of forgetful of that.
Yeah.
So, but it's been a great blessing here. So.
And what's the most memorable moment of your restaurant career? Maybe it was something that happened or somebody you saw, or what's the most memorable thing that comes to your mind?
I think every week is a memorable thing. It's the good and the bad. Sometimes you have some customers that are like wild, and they're out of the, some good and bad of that. We've had a lot of celebrities walk in here, which is fun.
Such as?
Top of my head, I forget, but a bunch of singers. I don't know their names. I just don't follow them.
Yeah.
But what's his name? I can't think of anybody at the top of my head. Put me on the spot, because a couple football players. I can't think of anybody either.
How about Guy Fieri? Did he come in here?
He didn't. No, I missed out on that.
Did he go to Angelo's?
I can't remember where he went, but I know Venda took a picture with him, and he went somewhere else. Oh yeah, he went to Ponyville. I got a hot wiener.
Got a hot wiener.
Smart man. Hot wieners are good.
Yep.
Not at our age anymore, but they were good. And it's nice to see a lot of the celebrities rolling through, but it's been great. It's been fun. So we've had I forgot his name. It's a rapper. I'm just blanking out. Not prepped for this, so.
Like I said, it's informal.
Organic. That's it.
It's organic.
It's fun.
Cool, man.
Good.
Well, before we go, what should the folks know about you? And also, if they come in and when they come in, what should they try?
Good. Again, I'm here. I'm not here as much as my family, but somebody's always here. We have fantastic Lebanese cuisine, Mediterranean dishes, so a nice variety of stuff. We have a lot of, the hummus, baba ganoush, grape leaves, all that traditional Lebanese vegetarian dishes. And then you have, your mixed real kebab, mixture of meats on a bed of rice. You have, like Greg mentioned, seafood opa, which is a nice, variety of our seafood. Then, of course, we have our pastas. We have our, our salads are really good. My personal couple favorite dishes, we have the chicken brick. It's a half a deboned chicken, pre-marinated with garlic and yogurt sauce. Really, really good. It's crispy on the outside and then tender on the inside. Seafood opa is another good seafood dish. Mixed real kebab, you get a nice variety of all of our meats, like I mentioned. We have a lot of great dishes. And then what we're going to be bringing in the next couple of weeks with the traditional Lebanese cuisine, that stuff that grandma used to cook on Sundays. That's going to be coming in. I'm going to be announcing that online. I'm going to be making videos. I'm working with a couple of videographers right now, meeting with them to, come in and showcase our talent, showcase my dad's food.
Awesome.
And get our name out there again. Get people in here for food more than anything.
Any specialty cocktails that they should try when they come? Is there something that you make here that maybe has that Lebanese flair or something? You mentioned a couple things.
Yeah, so a lot of our cocktails are not Lebanese-ish. We have like the ada, which is a Lebanese ouzo, which basically it's we water it down, so it's a liquid that looks clear, and then when you add water to it, it turns cloudy white, almost like milk. And then you add a couple ice cubes to it, and it's black licorice taste. It's a little strong. Put some hair on your chest. It's good for you. And then we have a fantastic cocktail menu. A lot of fall cocktails that just came out. Katie, our bar manager, shout out to Katie. She's put out some great cocktails out of this place. So
awesome.
And created some great recipes. So she's been doing a great job with that.
Awesome. Well, Francois,
Greg.
nice to meet you.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming.
Nice to chat with you, and come check them out on the hill here. We're at what, 230?
230 Owls Ave.
Atwell's Ave, and valet not at the moment because of the coronavirus, right? But traditionally, do you have valet?
We do have valet. We still do have valet.
Oh, you still do?
We still do. Yeah.
Okay, I
Yep.
thought it like got stopped or
No, it did for a little while, but we managed to open it back up.
Beautiful.
So it's on certain days. I mean, Fridays and Saturdays are shut because the hill's closed down, but hopefully in the next month or so, once the hill opens up on the weekends, we'll have valet on the weekend. But there's plenty of parking, guys. Come check us out. A lot of fun.
Yeah, get that lunch or dinner, and then stay for a couple drinks, and then stay for some hookah. Triple
There you go.
threat.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. If you have any questions for me, I don't know if you will, but throw them in the comments section below. Once again, Greg from Nexus Property Management and Francois Karam of Oprah Restaurant and Lounge.
Absolutely. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.